Darin, Steen here from FatLossLifestyle.com, coming to you today with a follow-up to my last week's video that YouTube cut off short. Believe it or not, I got over 50 emails and private messages on Facebook, because I posted on Facebook as well, and I got also 50 emails on YouTube. So well over 100 contacts because people wanted to know what was cut off at the end. And that's not marketing, that's just actually what happened in my video last week. So I wanted to think about it, and I wanted to give you a follow-up to that video. And that was basically, I was just getting ready to talk about personalizing for anybody, no matter where they're at, the right carbohydrate intake and the right nutrition intake to gain muscle and lose fat and to get them to do their goals. It's a pretty big, lofty goal for me to put out some initial information in a video to help everybody out, because everybody's so different. There's so many factors that come into play with whether someone's working out with weights, how fat they are, their present body fat percentage, their goal, how much muscle mass they have, how active they are through the day, the genetic metabolism that was given to them, whether endo, meso, or ectomorph. There's just so many factors, but I can do a pretty good job of clearing things up for you so that you can at least have a starting point. There's three things I want to talk about today. That is, one, you got to have a precise goal with emotional reasons. You've heard me talk about it before. A precise goal with emotional reasons with some consequences. A short-term, medium-term, and long-term goal. Let's just go with a week is the short-term goal, and then the medium range goal is 6 weeks, and then maybe a long-term goal would maybe be 6 months. With consequences, there's got to be something that you're emotional about, that you think is possible, that you're working towards, that has some consequences. Some people have a goal that they have a bet with a friend, $100 loses to the loser, or getting on stage in their posing trunks or underwear, or doing a glamour shot picture routine for yourself. But there's got to be some consequences to the goal. If you don't make it, you got to put pressure on yourself, and you got to have an emotional reason why to get off of blood pressure medication. So we talked about that before. If you haven't already done it, private message me and I'll send you my goal setting template. It's very, very effective, and it runs you through that process. The second thing of the three that I want to talk about today is you got to have a starting out game plan. You got to know there's so many, as far as how many carbohydrates, how to cycle them. So there's so much confusion in this area. Some people talk about your macros. You know, the bodybuilders and the fitness people will talk about your macros. That's what percentage of your calories comes from protein, what comes from fat, and what comes from carbohydrates. You got to know the difference between starchy carbs and vegetable type carbs, non-starchy carbs. We'll talk more about that in detail. Some people say count calories. Come on. You're going to weigh everything and count calories for here to eternity? I got an easier method. That's number two I want to talk about. And the third one is that you got to stay open-minded, and you have to get the feedback that you get from your body, how your workouts feel, the progress you made that week, and you need to tweak how many starchy carbohydrates you're eating according to the feedback that you get. How the workouts feel, how does the pump feel, how does the waistline respond for that week. Do you lose the pump halfway through your workout? You're not getting enough carbs. There's a lot of things that go into consideration, but hopefully I can give you some ammunition in this video on those three. Very, very important. Basically, it's what physique, I'm drug-free for life, so this is what works for me. My body wants to be fat, so if there's anybody that needs to figure this stuff out, it's me. My body does not want to be lean and muscular. I'm telling you right now, I had a 40-inch waist in 1990 when my football career ended, so I've had to work really, really hard. I got a thick waist. I had to work really, really hard to compete. And so what I found was what worked for me, people would say, well, will it work for me? I'm not going to compete. I just want to lose fat, and I want to work out a little bit during the week, and I want to feel better about myself. Absolutely. It will work for you. Natural competitive athletes like myself, where it is difficult to figure out how to get lean and stay muscular, works very well for my fat loss clients. I tested it. I tested my clients. I used them as guinea pigs. Almost none of my clients that I trained when I was one of the busiest trainers in the world from 2001 to 2010, owning my own clubs and working for Lifetime Fitness, almost none of them were competitive figure athletes or natural bodybuilders or girls competing in bikini contests. They're average people working hard trying to make a living. So this stuff worked for them. That's where I figured this stuff out, on myself first and with my clients second. All right, let's back up to number one. You got to have that precise goal. It is a little challenging at first to eat small meals often, have them be prepared, eat smaller meals more often, up to 5 and 6 times a day if you want to really gain muscle and lose fat. It's difficult, but it's not so difficult once you get into a week or two into it, and when you have an emotional reason why, and you remind yourself every day that you got to bring that body fat level down. You got to lose 4 to 6 inches off the waistline, and then whatever your emotional reasons are, and you say it out loud. So that is a way to build eventually an intense desire that you're going to push through this difficult phase. And once you start seeing results, well, then it's easy. Of course, once you lose a quarter or a half inch of fat off your stomach, it's easy per week. So it's easy at that point, but at first it's not. So initially, it's real important that you have that goal with that specific deadline so you know exactly what you're going for and why you're going for it. It's everything. I've talked a lot about that in the past. Number 2, let's talk about specifics of carb cycling. Well, you got to know the difference between starchy carbs and non-starchy carbs. It's not the amount of protein that you're eating that's going to make you gain more muscle. That's a big misconception a lot of guys have. It's not how much protein you eat, it's how much fuel you give your muscles for the workout and how much fuel you give them to recover from the workout. It doesn't necessarily come from protein, it comes from starchy carbs. Good sources are brown rice, wild rice, even white rice is relatively acceptable nowadays. Sweet potatoes, red potatoes, white potatoes, oatmeals, a bulgur wheat, bulgur rice, or quinoa. That's a little bit more not as common, but they're definitely acceptable. Those are 4 common acceptable sources of what's called starchy carbs. A banana fits in there. All right, so you got to start figuring out how many starchy carbs you're eating for the day. What I would do is, let's go just for today, for simplicity's sake, let's go an average size female. I'm assuming everyone's relatively active and they're working out with weights and or doing some cardio if they're watching this video. If you're not, that's the only way that you're going to be able to create a long-term lifestyle plan that's going to work for you. So you got to incorporate that. So let's go a medium-sized lady, let's say 130 pounds. Let's go a medium-sized guy, let's say 150 to 170 pound guy. And let's go a 190 to 200 pound guy. So let's just go 3. Quality sources of protein. How much protein do you need per meal? I'm going to go on the medium-sized girl, I'm going to go 20 to 25 grams of protein in every meal they eat throughout the day. Eventually, getting to 5 or 6 meals a day, that's for everybody. But if you're only eating twice a day, which is common for people who aren't into this workout lifestyle, then we don't want to go from 2 to 6 meals a day. We want to go from 2 to 3. That will build your hunger up, and then we'll go to 4, and then in a week we'll go to 5 meals, and eventually getting to 5 or 6. But the medium-sized lady, 130, 130 pound lady, let's go 20 to 25 grams of protein in every meal that you eat. For the medium-sized guy, around 160 to 170 pound guy, let's go up to 30 to 35 grams of protein in every meal that you eat. And then let's go the 190 pound guy, the big guy, let's go 45 grams of protein in every meal that you eat. That's about what I shoot for, 40 or 45 grams of protein. Those are 3 different scenarios that hopefully helps everyone figure out how many grams of protein they need to eat in each meal. Boneless, skinless chicken, eggs, tuna, fish, powdered protein, lean beef. Those are all a decent quality source of protein. A variety of different proteins is better throughout the day. A broad spectrum of amino acids. All right, so now let's go starchy carbs. For starchy carbs, let's go to the lady. The lady, on days that she works the most intense body parts, and we're going to call that legs, back, and chest, where you burn more energy. Starchy carbs get broken down into glucose. The glucose is the gasoline for your engine, your muscles. If you're not using your engine or your muscles as much, you don't need as much gasoline. You don't need as many starchy carbs. So on the days that you burn the most gasoline or need the most starchy carbs for the workout and recover from the workout, the 130 pound lady, let's give her 200, let's go 170, and everyone's different. If you've been sabotaging your metabolism by not eating many carbs at all, you got to work into this slowly. So the 130 pound lady, let's start her out with 175 grams of starchy carbs for the day, the entire day, preferably not the first meal or the last meal of the day, and the meals in the middle of the day for the whole day. So you'd split that down into the meals in the middle of the day, 175 divided by how many meals you eat. So hopefully usually that's around 30 or 35 grams in each meal coming from starchy carbs. This is only a starting point, but it's a nice place to start. On days that she does smaller body parts in the gym, like shoulders or biceps or triceps, smaller body parts, let's take that down to 100 grams of starchy carbs for the day, in between all the meals in the middle of the day, not the first or last meal. And then on 1 or 2 days a week when no weight training is done at all, or you maybe just do your interval cardio first thing in the morning, let's take it down to 50 or 40 grams of starchy carbs. So you get 3 different targets for your grams of starchy carbs for the day. Let's go with the guy in the middle, a 170-pound guy. Let's take it up, just a starting point, let's go to 225 grams of starchy carbs on your big workout days, your legs, back, and chest. 175 grams for the day. On the smaller body parts, let's take it down to 125 grams for the day. Same thing, preferably not the first meal or the last meal of the day, but in the meals in the middle of the day. And once or twice a week, on days you do cardio or don't do any weight training at all, let's take it down to maybe 50 or 60 grams of starchy carbs for the day. For the big guy, 190-pound guy working out intensely, we're just going to take it up. You can eventually work up to most likely 275 or 300 grams of starchy carbs for the day on your big workout days. We can take it down to the other body parts, maybe 175 grams of starchy carbs for the day. And then on once or twice a week, on days you don't do any weight training at all, maybe we'll take it down to maybe 75 grams of starchy carbs for the day. Now, these are just estimations. It's a nice average starting point for you, but going forward, you got to test things out so that you can tweak it and change it. Everything changes, nothing stays the same with your metabolism. You want to monitor, the third thing is you want to monitor your waistline and scale weight once a week to see if you made progress that week. Almost everyone is a fat loss client for the most part, okay? Gaining muscle is your best fat burning friend you'll ever have, and it's the best way to change your physique and get stronger and get the body and the lifestyle that you want long term by gaining muscle, by using weight training and stretching. So if you monitor your scale weight and your waistline measurement and you're a fat loss client and that scale weight stays the same, but you get a quarter to a half inch of fat off your stomach, measure it parallel to the floor with a Taylor's tape measure, nice and tight, right through the belly button as a landmark. You can pull it tight and get that exact same measurement once a week, first thing in the morning before you eat any food. And if you lose a quarter of an inch to a half inch off your waistline, well, voila, you had a good week. That is a great week. Half inch off your waistline every week for 12 weeks is 6 inches of fat off your tummy. That's what we're looking for to keep that off long term by building muscle with this program. So that's one feedback mechanism that you're getting. Is the waistline falling with the scale weight staying the same? What does that mean? That means you've gained muscle and lost fat. You've lost a couple pounds of fat and you've gained a couple pounds of muscle, which is ideal to do it nice and slow for a 12-week program. So the other feedback mechanism is, how does the workout feel? How does the pump feel? Do you feel pumped all the way through the workout? Do you have strength? Does your strength increase or at least stay the same? If your pump stays throughout the entire workout and your strength's staying the same or increasing and the waistline's going down, that's a good sign you're on the right track with your starchy carb amount for the week. So I would continue to go in that direction with pretty much approximation right there. Another one is, do you have enough mental focus to get through your day? It takes a lot of work to get through the day, outside of the workout. So, glucose, the carbs broken down into glucose, is also fuel for your brain. A lot of times the carb intake is too low for people to support their muscle gain and their mental function throughout the day. If you can't think through the day, or you're irritable or grouchy or lethargic, or you got some other signs that are similar, you're probably not taking in enough starchy carbs. You need to up your starchy carbs just by maybe 30 grams for the day. Each day, you got 3 different days. You got big, heavy workout days, back, legs, chest. You got smaller workout days, other body parts, legs, shoulders. Arms and shoulders. And then you got non-workout days or just cardio days. So you got 3 different amounts of carbs. Each 3 of your starchy carb totals, just up them by 30 grams for the day. Try it for 1 week. See if your energy levels come back, if your focus level comes back. And if that waistline goes down and the scale weight stayed the same, well, that was a good move. So this is a lot of information. I tried to cram in a lot in here for you, but I wanted to answer all the emails that I got this week about what YouTube cut off last week. So we can do this video again. The last time I shot this video, I got over almost 3 million views on post-workout nutrition, carb cycling. So hopefully this one gets as popular. Please pass this video along to other people that you think that this video could help. Like it. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. If you did like it, thumbs up. Comment below. We can talk more about this on YouTube or Facebook about how to figure out how many grams of starchy carbs you need to take so that you can get to your goal. So I don't really like counting calories. It's a little cumbersome. It's too much work. I don't really like doing macros. I like to get my amount of protein in that I feel is adequate for each meal. And then I really like to focus and study how many grams of starchy carbs me and my clients are taking in for the day. With just a little bit of studying, you can realize that how many grams of starchy carb are in a cup of oatmeal? There's 54. 27 grams in a half a cup of oatmeal. How many grams of starchy carbs are in an average sized potato? Usually around 35. Just Google it, do a little bit of research. A banana has 25, an average sized banana has 25 grams of starchy carbs. With a little bit of focus and a little bit of attention, 15 to 30 minutes online, you can come up and figure out how many grams of starchy carbs you're eating for the day. That is key in understanding how to manipulate your starchy carbs going forward to gain muscle and lose fat, get you the body, the lifestyle, and the life that you totally deserve. I know each one of you can do it. I've done it for myself. It's not easy, but what worked for me works for my clients, and I know it'll work for you too. Darin, Steen from FatLossLifestyle.com. Please comment below. Share this with people that you think this could help out if it helped you. Until the next video, you do have the power to change, make the rest of your life the boom best of your life.